Welcome back to Realistically Random. We have another case of a missing black person, a missing black woman, Ashley Elkins.
Tonight with developments in the case of missing Warren mom Ashley Elkins. Police now digging through a Macomb County landfill in search of more evidence linked to her disappearance. Good evening, everybody. I'm Rupraj.
And I'm Taryn Asher. The 30-year-old mother of two has been missing now for more than a week. Investigators, along with relatives, suspect she may have been murdered. Fox 2's Ingrid Kelly joining us live now with the latest on this case and what has made investigators now direct their focus here to the landfill.
You know what? Exactly. You know, we were asking the family about that, too, and they believe it was that dumpster that was actually pulled away. And actually, just a few minutes ago, we saw a number of law enforcement officials just leave this area one after the other. But the family, they tell us that they're hoping that they get answers sooner than later. The family of missing Ashley Elkins waiting and hoping that her body is located soon.
On pins and needles today, a little anxious.
On Monday, crews began searching a landfill in Macomb County as part of the search to find Ashley's body. Ashley went missing on January 2nd, and police said they suspected foul play.
We know that they're searching for the body. And so, you know, we're a little nervous about that, hoping that whatever they do find, they find it sooner rather than later.
Fox 2 reached out to Waste Management, the company that oversees the landfill, and the following statement was provided. We are fully cooperating alongside responding authorities and refer all inquiries to the Roseville Police Department as this is an active investigation. Last week, Ashley's ex-boyfriend, DeAndre Booker, was arraigned in court, charged with lying to police.
We're convinced he's the killer. Right. So, you know, and that's based upon evidence that was found in his apartment.
It was Booker's apartment where Ashley's cell phone last pinged after she disappeared. As the search for Ashley moved forward last week, the Michigan State Police Forensic Lab was sent to his apartment to collect evidence.
They did tell us that, you know, they had reason to believe, you know, where her remains were. I would imagine it's based on that dumpster they hauled away.
Sources tell Fox 2 that investigators reached out to local companies asking for support in this search at the landfill. Fox 2 has learned that Priority Waste provided items such as tents and heaters and hats and hand warmers for the searchers. And as police work to investigate this case, the family, well, they're thinking about the future of her two boys.
The family started a GoFundMe, and this GoFundMe is specifically for the boys, you know, for them, for their future.
For details on how you can donate, go to fox2detroit.com. But for now, the family just wants Ashley's body back with her loved ones for a proper burial.
We're just waiting patiently for police to give us the next update.
Right. Back out here live, you know, this is an all-hands-on-deck effort. I saw several agencies out here from the Richmond EMS, Oakland County Sheriff, and of course, Roseville PD. They're all hoping to find the body, okay? Now, again, if you can help this family out, help Ashley kids out with that GoFundMe, you can make a donation and learn more by going to fox2detroit.com. Back to you.
Now, police and crews have been out there all day. Does it appear that they have found anything, evidence yet at this point, or how long they do plan to search this landfill?
Well, what sources are telling us is about 2.5 to 3 days. Okay, we're also waiting for an update from Roseville PD, but I will tell you that as I saw a number of agencies leaving this area, I saw 3 large brown canisters. So it's hard to say what all of this is about. We don't know if anything was found and actually was put inside those canister looking items. But again, we're hoping that Roseville PD will update us. And of course, you can find the latest at fox2detroit.com.
All right, Ingrid. And Ingrid Kelly reporting live for us. Thanks for the update.
Out of Detroit. Now, this is very recent because Ashley went missing last Friday, I believe, January 2nd. And her mother knew immediately that something was off. She had texted her and said, I had a dream that your car was missing. And she said she received a text back that said, oh, man. And she said that she knew immediately something didn't feel right.
Just a reaction of what you saw in court today. I know this, I can't even imagine.
I just really had no bond. I think it's good that he got the bond. I just didn't want him a bond at all, you know. I just want him not to be able to get out at all. I just want to go straight to prison and just never get out ever again.
I know that they asked for $500,000 and the judge lowered it. How do you feel about that?
I didn't like that. She should have did 500,000, but I can set 250,000. But, you know, which could have been higher or no bond at all.
And you all have had your suspicions about him. Kind of, does this confirm what you were suspecting?
Yes. Yes. I knew it from day one.
Can you tell us about that? Is there a moment that you kind of knew?
When I got to her house, it was 8:40. She left at 8:30. I went in the house for a minute, came back out. I texted her I had a dream of her car being stolen. And she replied back, "Aw, man," which was weird to me. So I FaceTimed her. She didn't answer. So I said to her, you know, just be mindful about your surroundings and, you know, pay attention where you're going. And she didn't call back. That's not like her. And she never called back. And she never texts back. Ever.
Do you think that all man that wasn't like her, do you think that was her answering?
No, that was him. I believe he had her when she walked out that front door.
Does he have any violence or history of violence or anything? You know?
I never knew he was violent, but now that I'm finding out things, I know he was stalking and some things happened, but I found out later from friends first that, yeah.
So you think he was kind of controlling, possessive?
That I know he was, because he would go through her phone, and she was doing hair at home, and he had a problem with men coming in and get their dreads and stuff done. And so she had got a booth somewhere on 8 Mile, so that she wouldn't have any problems with him. Then when they broke up, then she just went back and started going from her house.
When did they break up?
I want to say September.
And how long were they dating?
A year.
Can you describe their relationship? Have you been around them when they were
Yeah,
together?
he was around my whole family. When I say I thought he was the one who was going to marry her, just he was good to her kids. He played ball with them. He took me to their haircuts. Ashley's father was murdered also April 8th of last year. He was there for that. He went to, I worked for Stellantis, and we had a Christmas extravaganza last Christmas. He was there.
Formal.
The formal. He was there. He was always in my house. I cooked. He was part of the family. So I'm just really shook that he would do something like this.
Did it give you any hope to hear the prosecutor say that they are still hoping that she's alive?
No.
Yeah, I think, you know, we heard from the chief and the police, and based upon the evidence, you know, there's, you know, reason to believe that she is not. We know the prosecutor is legalese, right, until a body is found in a courtroom. You know, they're still making those assumptions. But, you know, last night the family was very clear that, you know, based on the evidence that, and what was shared with us by the police, that, you know, she's deceased at this time.
The farmer's dog is made with real, fresh, healthy food, made with whole meat and veggies, and this is what they personalize.
And I know, have you informed her kids at all of that update?
I know you were just talking about how they're asking for the man.
So yesterday I went and got them. I told this 10-year-old, he just screamed and hollered. and asked why would somebody do something like that to his mother, because she's so kind. And how she takes care of them. Who's going to take care of them now? And he's supposed to be a chef, and he's supposed to buy her house, and he's supposed to cook for her. And they had plans, and now it's like he said he's not going to do anything now. He don't want to do anything anymore. And he's asked me questions like, is he going to his dad's, or he's got to stay there now? And I don't know. I can't break down. I've been strong this whole time, looking every day from day one. And it's like I can't really like lose it, because now I got to take care of my grandsons. And so I just got to always just keep being strong. But I get tired and overwhelmed. And I just want to thank everybody who helped me. I'm glad I went on live on Facebook. I'm glad that people share. I'm glad for social media who sent me information about all sorts of things, his family and people he knew and addresses. I thank the media for when you all came out, that y'all were on the ball. Y'all were calling me all the time from day one trying to get it on there. And, you know, we don't speak on why y'all didn't get it. I'm not going to go there. But once it got on, even they would call me and would tell me updates so that I wouldn't see it on social media. Trying to just protect me and protect my family. So I really appreciate that.
Do you have any feelings to just how full that courtroom was? It was no seats. Some reporters couldn't even get in. It was so full with support.
Yeah. I was on social media. I said I felt like I was alone and I didn't have anybody. And everybody showed me I did. That there are still villages out here. And yeah, I'm gonna be okay with time. The boys will be okay with time, but it's just heartbreaking. She didn't deserve this. She was really a sweet, even when she was born, she was a child who never cried. And growing up, she didn't do too much. She was real quiet and happy. She was the person that everybody went to, her friends, for advice. And yeah, this is just hard.
She was missing. She's still missing. You still don't know. What would help you right now? What would help you in any way right now?
Just prayers. Just everybody pray that we find her. Just pray. I've looked, you know, so I'm sure that they probably know where she is. They probably still looking for her. You know, that's what I feel. You know, they just gotta find her.
Even if you know in your heart that she's possibly deceased.
I know she is. I knew it because they took too long, so.
You still want to just have your baby home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at least we can lay her to rest, you know. She's my oldest, and I always told them, my kids, you know, to stay close. Because if something happens to me, then she was supposed to take care of them. And I don't know.
Have they described as he being cooperative, or is he combative, or have the police told you at all?
As far as the...
When they arrested?
Oh, no, we don't have any information as it relates to that.
Did he ever reach out to the family at any point when you guys were talking, trying to figure out where she was?
No.
What would you say to him?
But we accepted him. We accepted you in our family. You met her grandmother, you met her aunt, you met all her father's side of the family. You were good to those boys. You know, you didn't think that how it would affect those boys, the ones you got their haircut, the ones you kept sometimes when she had to run errands, the ones you played ball with, the ones you took to the park. You didn't care about them. It's just sad that he didn't even think about them. I don't know.
Was that an immediate red flag to you that he didn't call when this all started?
No, it was a immediate red flag when she said, "Oh man," I knew it in my spirit something was wrong, and I knew that he had been there 2 days prior, acting like he was a client. He went on her website and booked an appointment to get his hair done, and then he came to her house. He knocked on the front door and the side door, and they didn't let him in. So here he is, 2-3 days later, boom, she's gone. That's sickening.
Can you describe any other stalking type incidents where he was doing that?
I don't know. A friend of hers said that she felt like somebody was always following in her car. Something about another time he tried to make an appointment, but she found out it was him, and she called him, and he confessed that it was him, and he just wanted to see her, that kind of stuff. I don't know.
Why did she decide to end it with him, or was it?
How to turn a chilly 50-degree room into a comfortable 73 degrees in 90 seconds.
When we find out he had like 6 and 7 different pages, like on Facebook, he would have the same people on his page, like responding or replying or, to whatever he posted, which is strange. The same 6 people are not going to always say something. You're going to have different people, different days say things. And that's when we started realizing that something wasn't right with him.
Do you think those were fake or?
Oh, they definitely were. He was good with computers and doing things on them and making fake pages, making fake documents. We just really didn't know who he was. We thought we knew him, but we really didn't.
Did you know about going AWOL in the military or the other fraud?
We found out that he was in the Army. He did tell her that, and I asked her, did she ever see him with, a picture with her? She said she saw, but didn't know about AWOL. A cousin had said they didn't know. So he was in the Army, and then all of a sudden he was home.
What do you all think of when the prosecutor was going over the misstatements he made to police and his internet search history?
We were aware of some of those statements. If anything, it shows how calculating he was, that this was premeditated, and it shows the monster that he is. We're still waiting on more information as it relates to that. I'm sure the police knows more than we do. But to hear that, it says a lot about him and the monster that he is.
So you think he planned it out all ahead of time?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Not just, you think not, he didn't just plan it, but he planned to get off. I mean, he's hoping allegedly to pass a polygraph.
Yeah.
Right. That says a lot, right? You're researching how to pass a polygraph. You show up 2 days before and prior. This was no doubt premeditated. I was a prosecutor. I did homicide cases. This is as premeditated as you can get, right? He planned it every step of the way. It's just, you can't fathom why would someone would do this. You're talking about a mother, a 30-year-old mother of 2 children, and she didn't deserve this at all. But everything you heard in that courtroom, just from those messages alone, I think it says a lot about what he did and how this unfolded.
That's good.
Anything else anyone wants to add?
Again, we want to thank the media. Definitely want to continue to thank the community for their support. Outpouring, to see all that love and support in the courtroom, it does mean a lot. And ultimately, we want Ashley home. And when I say that, I mean we want her body found. And we know the police are working on that. They're working diligently on that. And we want to move forward. We want justice in this. And I said this last night, it seems that this case is resonating with a lot of people, probably for a lot of different reasons. We should not have to see our black and brown women murdered. We should not have to deal with boyfriends or husbands attacking their significant others. These are not things that should be happening. This is not normal, right? And we shouldn't accept this as normal. Whether we're police, whether we're everyday people, whether we're prosecutors, whether we're, family members, this is not normal. And this should not have to happen to anyone.
Yeah.
Can you talk about your background? You're a former prosecutor. You said, where were you a prosecutor in?
Wayne County.
Wayne County?
Yeah.
How many years?
That was, now I'm giving away my age. That was 98 through 2004. I was with the Mike Duggan administration at that time. I was a chief in the office, a deputy chief. Worked in the homicide unit. So.
You're a civil attorney now?
I do some of everything, right.
Did you ever think you'd be on this side of that attorney-client role?
I was speaking with someone before, no. I mean, once again, I think society grows numb to these things, and you see it on television, you see it in the movies, and you think, wow, that's so sad for them. To be on this side is devastating. It gives you another understanding. That's why I said this is not normal. It shouldn't be accepted as another occurrence, another, unfortunate female who, went missing and at the hands of their ex or their husband or boyfriend. It just should not be accepted as normal. But it gives you a different understanding being on this side, no doubt.
And he is my daughter's brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's my mother. That was her first granddaughter.
Yeah.
You watched her grow up.
Oh, yeah. We all had a hand in raising her.
And then you embraced this gentleman into your family. How does that make you feel?
I only saw him a few times, but that was her friend, and he came to my house all dressed up for a formal affair, and the stance that he had, and I just saw some class in him, but we didn't know who he was. We didn't know.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
You guys so much.
Thank you.
She went and reported her daughter missing because she called her, she didn't answer, but the police told her she had to wait 72 hours. And her ex-boyfriend, who she broke up with in September, October, was questioned, and not so good things were found in his apartment. Her cell phone pinged at his place lastly. So he was arrested and for suspicion. Let's get into it. Full timeline on the disappearance of Macomb County woman Ashley Elkins. Full timeline of events. Ex-boyfriend search history reveals. That's actually beautiful. Macomb County, Michigan. New details have been revealed as the search for missing Macomb County woman Ashley Elkins continues. Ashley Elkins, 30, was last seen leaving her Warren home at around 8:30 a.m. on January 2nd, 2025. Her ex-boyfriend, DeAndre Booker, 32, of Roseville, was arrested on Wednesday, January 8, 2025, and arraigned Thursday for allegedly lying to police during their investigation into Elkins' disappearance.
Calling case number 25329FY, People versus DeAndre Booker.
Your Honor, Randall Kane appearing as arraignment attorney on behalf of DeAndre Booker. Mr. Booker, state your name for the court, please.
DeAndre Booker. And thank you. Good morning, Your Honor. Steve Fox on behalf of the people.
All right, and Detective Les Bronx, can you please go to the table next to Mr. Kane? Mr. Booker, did you talk to Mr. Kane today?
Yes.
Did he go over your rights with you?
Yes.
Did you understand all of those rights?
Yes.
Do you have any questions regarding your rights?
No.
I'm going to enter a not not guilty plea for purposes of arraignment. With regard to bond, we'll start with Mr. King.
Your Honor, Mr. Booker is 32 years old. He's in custody on this charge. He states he is not employed. He lives at the same address. He also states he's not on probation or parole. I'd recommend a reasonable bond in this matter.
All right, and Mr. Fox.
Thank you. Good morning, Your Honor. Obviously, we're here on a 4-year felony for lying to a peace officer on a violent crime investigation. This is, of course, as Your Honor is aware, involving Ms. Elkins. And the court is to consider MCR 6.106F and MCL 765.6, a number of factors. I'm going to hit on a few if you don't mind. The first is the protection of the public. The underlying matter, although not the charge specifically, but the underlying matter obviously involves a crime of violence, potentially. We are still seeking Ms. Elkins. The defendant, we suspect and believe, may know where she is. And a concern is her safety if, God forbid, the worst has not happened yet. So with respect to that, Judge, I believe that there is a risk to the public, specifically if she were still alive, and that's what we're all hoping for, of course. The other is the defendant's risk of non-appearance and the likelihood of conviction. Likelihood of conviction, Judge, the defendant made several material factual misstatements to Detective Lasprins and recited those to the court during the course of the initial swear-to. The defendant was aware that we were investigating a missing persons report. He was aware that there was some belief of his involvement. He made misstatements about both his location as well as Ms. Elkins and how she may have left his vehicle, left his apartment complex, all of which we can demonstrate by objective evidence and video evidence to be false. So there's a high likelihood of conviction on these cases, on these matters. And then last and most importantly for the court's consideration, I think at this point, is the probability or improbability of returning for trial. We have a history that includes charges at least. We do not have the disposition, but we did recover DD-214 from his time in the U.S. Army. It looks like in 2016 he was charged with a couple of matters, including larceny of private property and, more importantly, fraudulent ID documents. And then in 2017 he was charged with desertion or the absence without leave, going AWOL from the Army. Ultimately, he was discharged less than honorably, although it was not a dishonorable discharge. He was discharged from the Army in a less than honorable means or manner. We know that after the conversations, before the conversations with Detective Lasprins, but we believe after the underlying events of this case, he fled from Macomb County, went to Flint, where he was apprehended and brought back to Roseville. And we know that during that time, while he was in Flint, he accessed the internet to search for such things as fastest routes from Flint to Ohio, what to do on the run, is blood traceable, how to beat a polygraph, and deleting Google history. So, Judge, I think by his own words and search history, by his prior conduct, and by what is frankly at stake in this particular matter, he's of significant risk of flight. With that, I would request a significant bond. I'm asking for a $500,000 cash surety bond, no 10%, and that a steel cuff GPS tether be attached should he make that bond.
All right, Mr. King, anything further from you?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Detective Lasprins, is there anything you wish to add?
No, ma'am, not this time.
As Mr. Fox indicated, there are many things the court has to look to with regard to setting bond and determining bond. This court looks most closely at the risk of harm to the public and the likelihood of the defendant's appearance in court. I will note for the record that this matter is currently charged as a 4-year felony. I will also note for the matter that while Mr. Fox did point out several instances from the defendant's time in the military with regard to any sort of matters that came up with regard to larceny or desertion, that there is no other criminal history presented. But that being said, the matter being investigated does involve a missing person, which is a very serious matter. And the court takes very seriously that The allegations being made are that the defendant is lying to a police officer regarding material facts about a missing person at this time. That gives the court great concern about the risk of harm to the public and the likelihood that the defendant will make sure that he appears in court for both misdemeanor and any potential further charges that may be brought by the prosecution. At this time, the court is going to assess an amount of bond in the amount of $250,000 cash surety, steel cuff tether prior to any release. The PCC date in this matter will be January 22nd, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. on Zoom in front of Judge Bodecker. The exam date will be January 29th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. in person in front of Judge Bodecker. I have referred the matter to the Office of the Public Defender for appointment of counsel at this time. If the defendant does retain counsel, that counsel can send in a substitution of attorney. Is there anything?
Thank you, Judge. And just, I apologize, Judge. Just one clear, you indicate steel cuff tether. That is with G, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Nothing further from the people, Judge.
Anything further, Mr. Bishop? Okay. You guys are all set today. Have a good day.
To find Ashley.
We're always going to be hopeful, but, you know, those scenes are very difficult to deal with.
The uncle of Ashley Elkins can't stop thinking about the scene that played out Tuesday at the Roseville apartment of Ashley's ex-boyfriend. For several hours, Michigan State Police Forensic Lab was on site searching for evidence.
It was quite shocking for the family to see that a dumpster was hauled away.
Investigators say the forensic lab is brought in to provide expertise with analyzing evidence.
We were expecting that his apartment would be searched, you know, but it was still nerve-wracking.
Ashley was last seen January 2nd, leaving her house in Warren. Her family says her cell phone last pinged at the Roseville address where her ex-boyfriend lives. Another major development Tuesday. Ashley's vehicle was found abandoned near 13 Mile and Little Mac in Roseville.
You know, the vehicle where it was parked had been there for numerous days.
The Roseville Police Department has taken the lead on this case as they work with Warren PD and other agencies to investigate.
The actions of the police are the most important thing.
Police say they have executed numerous search warrants and conducted comprehensive video canvasses during this active investigation. There's also an effort underway to get this case national media coverage.
We are an organization that helps bring awareness to missing people of color across the country.
Ashley's picture is prominently featured on the website for Black and Missing Foundation.
Our organization has reached out to local media outlets as well as our national partners to get coverage for this case. And I hate to say it, but media coverage really puts pressure on law enforcement to add resources to the case. So that's typically our strategy.
Right. Back out here live, we actually met up with Ashley's mom and her sister in this area along with family friends. They were actually having a search party looking for any sign, any evidence that they could help bring Ashley home. We actually today, my photographer and I, as we were going around the area, we saw many of those flyers that they were passing out yesterday, posted at gas stations, at that apartment complex. So really the moral of this story is that if you know anything, if you saw anything, speak up, contact police, contact Roseville, contact Warren Police, and let them know what you know so that they can find Ashley and hopefully bring her home alive. Back to you.
Certainly more people that know about this, aware.
Have you heard of turtle traders? They were a group of 14 novice traders.
Breaking tonight, an arrest has been made in the case of a missing Warren mother. Police and family confirming to Local 4 tonight, Ashley Elkins' ex-boyfriend is now in custody for her suspected murder.
Based upon that evidence that Ashley was murdered, they don't have her body at this time. They do have good leads on where her body is.
And it is the ex-boyfriend of Ashley Elkins, a mother of two, who is now behind bars for her murder.
We've been tracking this case from the very beginning, and it's a heartbreaking development no one wanted to hear. So let's quickly recap how we got to this point. Ashley was last seen leaving her home January 2nd. Since then, there has been no sign of her. Yesterday, police converged on the home of her ex-boyfriend. There, investigators say they found significant evidence. That same night, Ashley's car was found abandoned in the area of 13 Mile and Little Mac. And then tonight, family confirmed they have reason to believe Ashley was murdered. Our Jacqueline Francis was there as the family spoke to reporters tonight. Jacqueline, just a heartbreaking development.
KG, it really is. The family was called here to the Roseville Police Department tonight. That's where they were told that Ashley was killed. There is no body at this time, but the ex-boyfriend is behind bars. A mother in tears after being told her missing daughter, Ashley Elkins, was murdered.
What they indicated was there was substantial evidence collected at the home of the ex-boyfriend. They also indicated that based upon that evidence, that Ashley was murdered.
Ashley, a 30-year-old mom from Warren, was last seen Thursday, January 2nd. Her family reported her missing on Friday the 3rd. From the beginning, loved ones suspected the ex-boyfriend. Police searching his apartment for hours on Tuesday.
They do have good leads on where her body is.
The ex-boyfriend was arrested Wednesday and is being held on related charges.
They had broken up in September. We know that Ashley didn't want anything to do with him. So, you know, I can't get in the mind of a psychotic person, someone who would do something like this.
The family holding on to one another close, thinking of the two young boys Ashley leaves behind.
Monster out there that took a very beautiful
But we begin tonight with the investigation into a mother from Macomb County who has been missing now for a week. Her ex-boyfriend appearing in court today. Welcome to 7 News Detroit at 6. I'm Carolyn Clifford.
And I'm Mike Duffy. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a story that we've been following since Monday. Well, today her ex-boyfriend DeAndre Booker was charged with lying to a peace officer. Earlier this week, police raided his Roseville apartment in connection to the disappearance of Ashley Elkins.
And in court, we learned more about Booker's past, including his career with the military. Elkins' family now telling us they believe she is dead.
7 News Detroit's Randy Wimbley has an update on the investigation. He's hearing from a retired violent crimes investigator who's walking us through the complexities of a case when the victim hasn't been found.
Roseville PD met with law enforcement partners from Macomb County Sheriff's Office, the Warren Police Department, and Michigan State Police as they chart out the next steps in this investigation.
We want to bring closure for that family, and my heart breaks for them, but we're confident we're going to get there, and we're not going to stop till we do get there.
Roseville Police Chief Mitch Berlin says they are awaiting DNA analysis for some elements in their investigation that will bolster the probe into the disappearance of Ashley Elkins.
This violent act was premeditated. We will seek to enhance the charges once we get there to exactly that, premeditated.
The Warren mother of two went missing last week. Her car was discovered in Roseville. That's where police searched the home of DeAndre Booker, her ex-boyfriend and main suspect in her vanishing. Investigators believe she was murdered.
DeAndre Booker.
Booker faced a judge on Thursday, accused of repeatedly lying and willfully providing false and misleading information to police at the onset of the investigation. Walk us through the rationale of why they would get a charge like lying to a peace officer.
They want to keep him in custody so they can't, the individual they have in custody can't destroy any evidence. Or maybe, in this case, move the body.
Retired Detroit Assistant Police Chief Steve Dolan spent his career involved in some of Michigan's most violent crimes.
But still, he's a flight risk because we haven't found the body, and they felt there's enough there to get a search warrant for his house. And that's why they're looking for him in the first place.
Ashley Elkins is a loving mother, daughter, sister, and friend who was excited to start the new year out with her new blackjack dealing license. Her first day on the job was January 2nd.
I texted her because I had a dream that her car was missing. When she replied back, she said, "Oh, man."
And that's the last time that she heard from her daughter.
And I texted her a few times after that, like, you know, we worried about you. Call us. What's going on? Where you at?
The worried mother says that she immediately alerted police, but there was little they could do until 72 hours had passed. Ashley was last seen wearing an all-black outfit. If you have any information about her disappearance, you are urged to call the Warren Police Department or the Roseville.
Here's a timeline of events that led up to and have followed her disappearance. December 31st, 2024, ex-boyfriend books appointment at Elkins' home salon. On December 31st, 2024, just days before Ashley disappeared, her ex-boyfriend booked an appointment at her home salon using a different name according to family members. He knocked on the front door, and I guess she saw that it was him. Ashley's mother, Monica Elkins, said. Booker also knocked on the side door of the home as Ashley told everyone in the house to be quiet. After that, he left. January 2nd, 2025, Ashley Elkins disappears. 2 days after her ex-boyfriend was knocking on her door, Ashley disappeared. Family members last saw Ashley leaving her home in Warren at about 8:30 a.m. on January 2nd. She was last seen wearing a long black coat with fur around the hood and black leggings. The family told Local 4 that they received weird texts from Ashley the day she went missing. Her mother said she arrived at Ashley's house about 10 minutes after she had left. Monica Elkins tried to FaceTime her daughter, but she didn't answer. She said hours later, a family member got a text from Ashley who said she was going to a beauty supply store. After that, her mother said the phone was turned off before being turned back on. According to Ashley's phone, her last known location was her ex-boyfriend's residence in the 2900 block of Pinehurst Street in Roseville. January 7, 2025, police recovered Ashley's car. Ashley was last seen driving a gray 2009/10 Chevy Malibu with no plates. On Tuesday, January 7th, authorities found her car a few miles from her ex-boyfriend's Roseville apartments. It's not a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence. Why is her phone pinging at his address? Authorities also searched Booker's apartment on Tuesday night, January 8th, 2025. Ex-boyfriend arrested. Booker was arrested in the evening on Wednesday, January 8th, 2025. Officials said they believed there was a strong possibility of foul play in Elkins' disappearance. And after meeting with authorities, Elkins' uncle Maurice Morton released the following statement. What they indicated was there was substantial evidence collected at the home of the ex-boyfriend, and they also indicated that based upon that evidence that Ashley was murdered. They don't have her body at this time. They do have good leads where her body is. They also indicated that the boyfriend is in custody on related charges, not for murder at this time. A warrant being prepared, but he will be arraigned in the morning at Roseville District Court, 10 a.m. So if they have evidence that he also indicated based upon that evidence that Ashley was murdered, why isn't he in jail for murder? January 9th, 2025, ex-boyfriend arraigned on Thursday, January 9th, 2025, was arraigned in connection to allegedly lying to police officers and providing false and misleading information regarding Elkins' disappearance. He was given a $250,000 cash surety bond, and if he is released, he must wear a steel tether with GPS. During the arraignment, we learned details regarding his arrest and his search history. Booker was arrested in Flint and brought back to Roseville. While he was in Flint, officials say he searched online for information on the following: fastest routes from Flint to Ohio, what to do while on the run, is blood traceable, how to beat a polygraph test, deleting Google search history. On Thursday evening, authorities were back at Booker's residence searching for evidence. I just don't understand. They have enough evidence to know that she was murdered. Why is he not charged with the murder? It's just like, I don't get it. If they can tell that she was murdered, why is he not arrested for the murder? All right, let's get into some clips of the arraignment while they were reading off the charges and saying, I forgot what they had said to him. Um, the prosecutor was stating why he didn't feel that he should get that the ex-boyfriend should get bond because she's missing and he is to alleged to have something to do with it, and he's shaking his head no, as if you're going to be like, I killed her. I just don't understand. They have evidence that she's murdered. Why is he not charged for the murder? And then he's lying to police. What do you have to lie to the police for if you didn't murder? Like, let's be for real. We have to keep a close eye on this case as well. We gotta keep a close eye on it. Because this is sad. Her boyfriend, I'm gonna insert that clip, that video, her current boyfriend posted on TikTok. And he said that he had just left for work. So he's saying that the ex-boyfriend had to have been watching. Because he said he had just left. So he was probably upset that she broke up with him. Because September, October, y'all broke up. This is January. She got a new man. You saw the new man. And then you are pretending to be somebody else and book an appointment at her house. A hair appointment. Why? Why wouldn't you want to present yourself as yourself if you want to talk to her? Yeah, I'm going to show some clips, but the mother had some interesting things to say about him. It was like they didn't see any signs, but eventually they did, if that makes sense. She found out that he went AWOL. When he was in the army, he was released. He went AWOL. That's why he was released. She found that out later. Just heartbreaking. Yeah.